Just imagine this thing that's knocking on your door. It's just screaming for you to look at it, practically begging you to go in a different direction. And you just keep putting it off. Or maybe you're afraid, what will this require of you? Maybe you're afraid of hustling and being even busier than you are right now. Or maybe the people that you might lose along the way. Or maybe you have a deep feeling fear of being an imposter, not really comfortable with being fully seen out there, all in your power. I know it can be daunting, but if something's calling to you and you know it's calling to you, then you should just listen and keep watching this video. If you're new here, my name is Shamina Taylor. I'm a wealth expert and business mentor, and I help women become their most emotionally mastered self and an unapologetically rich version of who they are. So if that's something that you want, then stick around and join our community. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when I release a new video. So in this video, I'm going to go through the process of why you're feeling the calling, what to do when you feel, and what happens when you do. So before I had this moment on a yoga mat, which literally changed my life forever, which had me going down the road of my calling, I thought I was living the perfectly perfect life before. Everything seemed aligned. This is what I was doing. I was a lawyer, I was married, I had two perfect, beautiful children, a boy and a girl. We were going to the Caribbean in the winter. We were going to Europe in the summertime. I could buy whatever I want to. We had our dream bodies. I could check all the, things off on the box of what the American dream looked like. I had it until that moment on the yoga mat. Then everything just went phew. Because in that moment on that yoga mat where I had this massive emotional breakdown, it gave me the opportunity to connect to myself on such a deeper level than I ever had before. I was really feeling into who I was. And many people mask that feeling and those emotions throughout their entire life until something comes along and you literally can't unsee what you're seeing right now. The only way those moments can come to us is when we're being fully present, when we were in it, when we were feeling it, when we were not running from ourselves, where we're trying to be busy doing something else. In that yoga pose that I was in, and you can go listen to my story in other videos, but I was forced to be present, to sit and to really face who I was in that particular moment. But that moment completely changed the trajectory of my entire life because I was willing to be present. I was able to receive what I needed to hear in that moment. Sometimes we'll have different aha moments where we get triggered and something is calling to us, trying to get our attention. Hey, listen up. Trying to get through to you. That yoga moment was for me. Maybe it was something else for you. I'd love to hear what it was if you've had that and share in the comments. But something just doesn't feel right. And there's something has to change. You can't unsee what you just saw. You know now that you were living a certain way and you cannot go back to that way ever again. It's what they call a lot of the times is the pivot has to happen from that. You can't unsee what you know now. Before you were living in the dark. Now you're like, okay, I see it now. I cannot unsee it. And this is where change has to come from that. This was such a profound feeling in my life. There was no other way to go and proceed after that. I had to take action. Something had to follow from this pivotal event in my life. It changed everything after that. And this could, determine which people have success faster in their lives when things like this happen and they take action immediately instead of sitting on it. Because I took action right away, it literally was quantum leaping and opening up so many other things in my life because I was unwilling to stay after I had seen something and felt something that had completely brought awareness into my life. A lot of people don't do that. They're not willing to just be present and see what's coming in that's talking to me that I can't ignore anymore. Because a lot of the times people will just try to ignore and go back to their daily lives. But this thing was just like a volcano. My life was like turned upside down. I mean, I couldn't proceed the way I was before. I had to change. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know where I was going to go next. I just knew something was calling to me and I had to listen to it. It was so strong. It was like this awakening moment was happening to me. I could not ignore it. And when this moment happens for you too, you cannot ignore it. It cannot be something that you walk away from and you're like, okay, I'm just going to go back to normal again. It just doesn't happen. And you really got to let go of the how. We just don't know how this is going to go. This is not where you go to college. Okay, you take these courses, you get this degree, you graduate, you pass the bar like I did for law school. This was something brand new. I didn't know what the next steps were. I did know that I had to be open to whatever was coming and the how would figure itself out. if I stopped trying to figure it out. I just had to lean into the knowingness that this was the next thing that I had to do. I had to trust the process. This is really where my faith started really turning on in such a big way, because I knew something was speaking to me. I just didn't know what the message was yet. I didn't know what the direction was next, but I did know that I had to trust it, I had to follow it, and I had to believe. And I started doing that on repeat because I knew something was guiding me into what I was supposed to do in this world. I mean, that's huge. We unfortunately want to control everything in our lives because we really want to avoid disappointment. We don't want to be disappointed. We don't want to fail. We don't want things not to go right. So we try to make sure we've done everything we can before we take action so that we don't have to deal with those things. But really what I've learned is navigating those things is really where the true success and the true power comes from in our lives and gets us ahead faster. When I was in this part of my journey, it was really calling me to let go of that false sense of safety that I was trying to, get behind all those times before where I had to know everything. I had to figure everything out. There was nothing to figure out right now. I had to do the deeper work. I had to remove the blocks so I can get connected so much deeper to what I was going to do and create in this world. And I just had to trust the process. For example, if you want more money, you can't walk around with the belief that money's always running out, because that's what you're actually going to perpetuate and create. So you got to work on that belief that money's running out and change that if you want to have more money in your life. So many times we have to disconnect with our current reality so that we can trust whatever it is what we're trying to call in and bring into our lives is coming. It's on its way. It's happening. I was seeing signs all over. I know this is really woo-woo, but I was seeing signs of 1111. I was getting messages on license plates that were just really feel like there was a higher power, a spirit, whatever you want to call it. The universe was speaking to me saying, stay on track, stay on track. You're going in the right direction. Keep going, keep going. I was using angel numbers to help me just because I was in the unknown. There was no direction. There was no GPS. It was just keep staying the course, keep staying the course, keep doing the work, keep going deeper. It's okay. Keep going. And I just kept getting these confirmations all around me that kept me going so that I could keep having the faith and trust that, I'm on the right direction. Holding the faith, it started almost 12 years ago. And my faith muscle is so strong right now because when I started, I had no idea where I was. I just had a calling. I had a breakdown on a yoga mat. I had a calling and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be a lawyer anymore, but something else is coming to me. I have no idea what it is. You got to have a lot of faith to literally give up your old life, really release everything from it. I looked like I was probably having a nervous breakdown. I mean, really what was, and then just trust. My trust muscle, my faith, my knowing, it was turned on then. And look where I am now, almost 12 years later. It's been a remarkable journey. So glad I listened. So I started taking inventory around my life, the people that were surrounding me, who was there to support and elevate where I was going through, and who did I need to release and let go of. And this process may look different from everybody else, but I knew as I elevate so quickly that I need someone who's going to elevate quickly with me, or else I'm going to outgrow them very quickly now because of what I started in the beginning. This is what's really helped me quantum leap to millions of dollars, but especially in the beginning when I went from zero. Let me tell you, when you're starting all over and you're not making any money and your bank account's looking a little sad, you got the zero or negative. One time I had 1111 on my account. I took a screenshot of that. That was so amazing. And I was just, even though my account was overdraft, I was like, oh, 1111. Because I was very much in my, signs back then. It was a sign. It was like, hang on, baby. It's going to be okay. This is not a final destination. And man, to see tons of cash come into your account after that, it's a remarkable faith. Trusting, allowing. Those are things that really helped me get through that next level. Again, it's going to look different for everybody else. Everybody's going to have a different story. But listen, you can go all in on your faith. Quantum leap. I did it. I went from zero to $1 million in less than a year. And I know other people can too. There's a part of my journey that I was celibate. I was almost 3 years, maybe 3.5 years. I was just really focused on myself. I wanted nobody coming in to disrupt what I knew I had to work on, because I knew the things that I was using for crutches or people or, I wanted this to be the most pure divine awakening for my own self, because it was like a rebirth that was really, really happening for me. And it allowed me to really listen to what my next steps were, to really be divinely present, to listen in, to tap in. I had this really clear connection to my higher self. And I trusted what I was feeling. I trusted what the next steps were. This is so important when we're trying to get to that next level. If you don't know where to start, then start asking yourself, what would make me happy right now? And go do that. Also, practicing what you preach is really, really important. You've got to be the embodiment of what you're teaching. To me, I'm a walking billboard for what I've done, what I've created. My experiences, all the things that I've learned, I'm the embodiment of it. There's no part of my story that doesn't, whatever I teach, every part of what I teach is part of my journey and my story. That's why I know my women so well, because they have been me at one part of this journey. When you're an embodiment of what you're doing, you become in full alignment. That's a superpower. If you haven't got my book yet, Unlocking the Quantum Woman, you'll hear more about my story. You'll also hear about my journey. Go check it out. This book will be life-changing for you. I promise. And if you've already gotten it and you haven't left me a review on Amazon, please go leave me a review. And if you haven't listened to Unapologetically Rich, my podcast, you should go listen to it. It's one of the #1 podcasts for women in business. Go listen to it, Unapologetically Rich. Subscribe, and if you do listen, go leave us a review. Also, come join us in the Quantum Woman group on Facebook. We would love to have you. We have a lot of live trainings there. We've built an amazing community of other women that are also in the same place that you are, and it really helps us grow together. And we've got some freebies below. I've got my daily money moves. They're my secret to success. Go down there and grab it. And if you want to work with me higher and really learn how to get to your next level, message my team at support@shaminataylor.com, and we'll help you with what programs you need and how you can also make that transition. Listen, it was not an easy thing going from being a lawyer, having a meltdown on a yoga mat, having this awakening, and now being here. But let me tell you, I would not change one thing because I'm living in my purpose right now, and nothing fulfills me more than living in this energy. All right, stay tuned for the next video. Bye for now.